What's up, everyone?
To the stand, to the stream.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Never mind.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 151, being recorded on March 16th, 2022, which brings us to 70 days to Kenobi.
Ooh.
70.
God, that feels like a long way away now.
It does feel like a long way, but like I said last week, I'm kind of like, let's just settle down, right? We I want to see more. I don't want to see more. I want to talk more about it before it's here, because when we get into it, nothing can be perfect. So we'll get into it in a minute here about that.
That makes 72 days in line for something else.
Yeah, celebration.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to talk about that too. But first, I am your host, Darth Butcher. I've got Scott Solo here with me.
What's up, nerds?
We've got Grand Admiral Franz.
Hey.
We got Bootleg Joe.
Hey, yo.
And Ernie the Fallen Fett.
Hey guys, what's up? And hey yo for Joe too.
I know.
Rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always, we see these people that we grew up with going too soon. So,
Yep.
Scott, on
Yeah, that's
down
me.
note,
Hi.
brighter note, Scott, Patreons, we got to shout them out. So, do you have that list ready?
I sure do. Hey, jeez. Let's start that over again. Let me
You
rewind.
guys are on fire, and I was the one running late.
I know, right?
I was
What's up with
fine.
that?
He interrupted
I'm ready
me.
for this. I'm ready to roll. Like rare form.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks a lot to all of our Patreon members out there. If you want to join Patreon and try and fix this shit, just log on to patreon.com/Sarlacc
We need help.
Digest Podcast, and anything you can throw our way would be great. We'd really appreciate that. But a special shout out to all of our current members. We've got Cliff. We've got Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on the Red 5 Network. We've got Flavy Davy, formerly of the NWA podcast, Don the Dad Dorn, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine, Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour podcast, Crystal Lamphere, Brandon and Anya Epler. And
He's
AJ
here
from
all
the
day,
freaking
bro.
panel.
He's here all night.
Sunday.
Sunday. So again, thanks a lot, everybody. We appreciate you and everything that you do.
That's right. Link is in the description below. If you
And everything you do is send us money. Everybody else, send us money. Do that.
We
We'd like
appreciate
money.
that.
We got the
And
whole crew back because everybody's
we
getting
got-
paid again.
We
Yeah,
got some new business cards thanks to you guys. So that's
Oh, yeah,
really
we did.
awesome.
that's right. And you can see one of those live in person at Celebration this year. Anyway,
That's
Yeah, you
right.
didn't pay for celebration though. We need way
No.
more patrons than that.
we
Yeah.
we got
We
those
paid-
2 years ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Screw the
We
wazoo.
pay for celebration.
Scott, while we're at it, why everybody that's being digested in the pit, why don't you go and shout everybody out that right there?
Sure. We've got Gavin Connor, Douglas Tupper, Bootleg Joe. Hey, he's right there next to me. Cliff Santo 1414, Arizona Toy Hunters Guild, and the Nerd Alert.
Awesome.
What's up, everybody?
Awesome. And everybody welcome. So we've mentioned Celebration a couple times. Tickets went on sale again yesterday for the, I guess this is the postponed Celebration they were supposed to have 2 years ago. So it starts the 27th through 28th, 29th, 30th to the 30th, I believe. If you haven't got your tickets, go on there now because they're still available. We're all going. We're all going to be there for the most part Friday, but the entire crew on Saturday, definitely. So if anybody, I don't know who's in the pit that's going, let's definitely we know a lot of people that are going to be going to meet up and stuff. And, keep your fingers crossed, guys, because we did put on our application for the podcast panel. So good vibes that we get on there. And if you are in town,
let's hope we don't get on there on Thursday the 26th or
Yeah.
Sunday the 29th, because if we do,
We're the Starlight effing Digest. They put us on Friday night or Saturday night, man. We get the main event. Let's go.
yeah, I'm ready
Sure.
for it, man.
sure.
So what is that you're talking about?
So that I don't know if you've cut the last celebrations. They always had a podcast panel, and that would what they do is they
saying for the
invite
listeners in the crowd.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, what they do is they invite I think you get like a 45-minute spot. You get a stage, you get to go live at Celebration, and Celebration broadcasts it over there, closed circuit. It's on YouTube, all that stuff, so we can hit a wide audience and everything. So, we got our application in early, so hopefully,
You know what? When we got in
process.
this, we talked about a few things, right? We don't want to make money in this world at all. At all. We wanted to meet cool Star Wars people, and interview them, which we do pretty regularly now. It's pretty freaking awesome to, it's pretty surreal, man. It's wild, right? And the other goal was to start to go to conventions and be part of it, which we did in Vegas, and to get on Celebration stage.
Right.
If we get on a Celebration stage, we're pretty much done. We're gonna retire at that point.
It's done.
All the goals hit. Nothing else to do, man.
The application process was a little intense. They're like asking for descriptions of everything. Choose your best 3 episodes, and I'm like, well, it's definitely not this one.
Yet. Never know.
Yet.
We can piss Chris off, and he can get mad, and it's.
Oh,
I'm working on it.
I don't think that would endear us to Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, but
gotta have a villain. Gotta have Darkseid in there somewhere.
Yeah, it always makes for a good talk. But yeah, proceed, Scott.
So no, it was interesting because it was describe what you do for the community, because that's a lot of what Star Wars Celebration is about. It's what do you do for the community? Do you do outreach? How do you involve the community? So it's like our May 4th event. Whenever we do the May 4th event, it's always a charity event. We raise we don't raise anything. We bring in toys for a toy drive and a book drive, and we're going to be doing that again this May 4th.
That's right.
You know what we raise is the roof, because we're awesome.
That's right. So we're going to be at the Social HD again, May 4th for the annual event. We're going to do trivia. We're going to have music going, and there will be prizes available for everybody. But it is a 21 and up establishment, just like it was last time. And we are also going to, it's a $10 toy buy-in. So if you're going to show up to get in, you've got to bring a new unwrapped toy of $10 value or more. And it's going to, again, benefit the United Way. So 2 big thumbs up to the Social for having us in there. And we have made we've made a flyer. We'll post that all over social media for everybody to share. So
yeah, absolutely. And because May 4th falls on a Wednesday, I believe, this is not an if. We are going to, and I don't know how well this is going to go, but we are going to go live on our May 4th event.
Oh boy.
With live trivia. We'll have the live trivia. Our pit can play along with us. We're working out the details, and it's going to be awesome. So prepare for that. If you can't make it to SoCal, everybody out there, you can join us and have a good trivia night. It'll be fun. Well, again, how can it go wrong?
Right.
I've got a list of 12 different ways it can get effed up pretty good.
Here's our flyer right here. So it's the biggest Star Wars Day event in the high desert. The Social and the Sarlacc Digest podcasts. Hey, Ernie. Ernie, could you please point to the date and time for me?
Like a weather girl.
Anyway, Wednesday, May 4th, 7 p.m.
Right there.
There it is. Bring an unwrapped toy to get in, and we're gonna have some fun, guys. So
nice. Check it in with the pit real fast. We've got the AZ Toy Hunters Guild catching
Arizona
live
Toy Hunters
tonight.
Guild.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, man. Please don't get discouraged about any kind of technical difficulties, because it only gets better. So
sure, we'll go with that.
I've been setting up this whole time, so we're good. And giving back to the community, sometimes I do let my OnlyFans go for free. So I hope you put that on the application.
It's rare. Catch it while you can.
Boy, did you show up right before I did?
Yes.
Oh,
Seconds.
You guys had me. I was thinking, shit.
Seconds.
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 So as I'm stressing my sound and losing my mind because I suck, Ernie's like, I've been here a long time. What's wrong with you?
Well, to TJ's point, that's why Chris is in the wrong spot, because he showed up late.
I always give you shit, man. That's awesome. Exactly it. I didn't know that you thought I was real.
I didn't even, man.
Literally seconds. Man. I did the same thing. I'm looking at Marco's text, StreamYard. Oh, okay.
It's Wednesday.
What time is it? Yeah.
Welcome to Daylight
Saving.
Time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Gross.
It's crazy. Oh, and I'm technically at work, so
Oh, nice.
if
So if
I
you
exit,
do run out,
yeah, I will let
You
you
can
know.
disappear at any moment.
no
Yes.
problem, Ernie. Well, thanks for letting us know on that. So if everybody has missed last week's episode, we interviewed Chris Bartlett. He was huge. I'm just gonna say he's huge in the Disney Plus era going forward. From what we've got from Mandalorian, Book of Fett, Kenobi going forward, he's going to be at Celebration too. So maybe we can pull him on stage with us because
I'm gonna try, dude.
Yeah,
Either him
yeah.
or Tim. I'll try
Yeah.
to grab Mr.
Oh, nice.
Timothy's on.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna.
I was thinking we should try if we can't get either of them, see if Omid is available and get him on stage because it should be his first celebration.
Oh yeah.
Dr.
Or you know what?
Pershing
If
himself.
we can't get any of them, we'll ask Mark to come on. See, he'll do it.
I guess.
whatever.
Luke Skywalker,
CGI
whatever.
Up there at least.
We're first name basis. Yeah, Tim, Mark.
Tim, Mark. You know who I was talking about with all of them. So we all,
Well, we all went
I
there.
can't do it then because he has a restraining order against me. So. I'll waive though. I'll let you guys do
Another
it.
one? Another
one,
restraining
yeah.
order?
Up to
1,200
this
feet,
one kicked
dude.
into effect. Yeah.
1,200 feet. You got to go to the other side of the place.
That's awesome. But yeah, so last weekend ago we did an interview with them and we also broke down the Kenobi trailer, right? But we went kind of fast on that Kenobi trailer, like because we have time restraints and stuff, and I missed one of the kind of points which wasn't in the trailer, right? Was the Vader appearance, right? So Vader was also in that Entertainment Weekly article and everything. And what was interesting that I was just kind of got even more excited was the fact that Hayden Christensen said this is going to be the powerful Vader, right? This is like this isn't just this isn't a side cameo appearance or just whatever. This is going to be more. He means a lot more to the story than what we're led to believe. And it also I'm gonna kind of go twofold here because Darth Maul, as we know, as all the news has been coming out, Darth Maul was cut from the Kenobi series, and there's this whole thing. And my first thing was like poor Ray Park, right? Because he did let us know. He did let us know. Yes, Chris.
No, I'm just wondering.
Oh yeah. Okay.
When you're done, I'm next.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, and my point with Vader, having more of a presence with the Inquisitors, Vader, and Kenobi, I'm good, right? So we'll talk more about Darth Maul's potential, what he would have done in this series, or maybe they cut him for a reason, and moving forward too. So
what I was gonna say there then is Mr. Hidalgo quashed that a little bit today, said it's BS, but I don't know that he knows it all, right? I think there was I still think there was something to that rumor that Maul was in there, but
got it.
He did come out and say that was bullshit.
Really? I missed that. Oh, okay.
I think the quote was BS, but I'm still on it because I think that's the talk, and I think it needs to be covered today on why it shouldn't happen, right? Because people are still like,
why it shouldn't happen. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, not to call any.
I know that he had said that. I saw that today too, Chris. We were both on Twitter and. He did. He called it out saying, "Oh, that never happened." Right? Like, there's no fact to that. This is Pablo, who has also been hiding during all this Disney Plus stuff and hasn't come out to say a whole bunch, right? But wanted to make that point. Yeah. But to that too, if we go back to Mr. Ray Park's Instagram post, like we do, unfortunately, everybody's life is thrown out there.
Right.
It might have been true because do you remember the whole little hissy fit of ripping all the Darth Maul cards and the Obi-Wans and leaving them on the floor? And everybody was like, what's going on? Do you remember that? And nobody knew.
Vaguely.
And he hasn't been talking Sith life lately?
Correct. Right. Well, that was after. He came in hardcore months ago, and then his last scene was those Celebration exclusive figures of Maul and Obi-Wan. He had a bunch, and he ripped them up. Was just ripping them and then threw them all on the floor, and that's the last time we heard from him.
As like he got cutting room floor kind of stuff. Yeah,
he was cut.
See, I can see that completely, and I could also see Pablo being damage control right there.
Exactly.
Bit.
Oh no, it was
not making a bigger deal than it is because remember, we were following, and we even said on the show a lot was watch the Instagram post, right? Watch, and he gets active when he's in. He was in the makeup chair. They showed him all, working out again. We're like, it's coming. So yeah, I mean,
so I think it could have been talked about or approached of, hey, we got this idea, and he goes full into it, and then it was like, never mind, we're going a different way.
It just wouldn't make
that-
any sense unless they fast forwarded,
unless they
redid a scene
or rewound. I'm thinking heavy flashbacks here.
Yeah.
There could be a flashback of Maul killing Qui-Gon easily from a different angle or something.
I think it was talked beforehand of what they were going to do.
Yeah, I think so. But,
of
but I'm
offering
saying,
it,
Well, you gotta offering it to Maul or getting him on.
Yeah,
Saber?
offering it, but like, hey, this is our idea. We're gonna have Kenobi coming, maybe Maul. What do you think? And of course, then he gets excited, and we see that it was like Sith everything, because this was months and months ago.
Yeah. And then
it
was Maul was replaced by Vader.
Correct.
Like Maul was, and I think this was rumored a long time ago that Maul was supposed to be the main antagonist for Kenobi series.
Yeah,
right?
so I don't think anything was ever cut or shot or anything like that. I think it may have been approached, and then no, never mind. Like, we're different storylines and like that. So that gives Pablo every right to say, well, it never happened that way. But they could have went to Rey and been like, hey, are you available? Because we're thinking this and like that. And, Solo went good, and then he didn't, because there was still no explanation after that little fit. I don't mean to call it that, but he puts everything out there.
He does.
He's had a couple of fits over the last 2 years, to be honest, putting out videos of his wife and stuff.
Yeah,
Oops, that was an accident. He's had a mess the last few years.
Yeah. Well, it goes to everybody's minds and everything, and where it's like, okay, if Maul was supposed to be in it, and like Scott was saying, where does it fit? And Chris was saying like maybe it's flashbacks, maybe it's going forward, maybe it's replacing. My first thought was like, I think we have enough with this group that we have already, like with Vader and that moving forward, because there's a lot of story there, and we're like, our mindsets are there. Yes, Maul is around and he's active in this time frame. So,
but you know what's up? It's because here's the deal. In Solo, people were confused, right?
Well, that's what I was just about to get there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, well, I was just about to get there. Like Solo, they introduced Maul as return, and we haven't got the payoff. It hasn't come full circle with it at all.
Yeah.
And maybe they wrote that into the Kenobi series, but remember, there's another rumor going around about a Maul TV show on Plus coming soon, and animated. Okay, just strictly Maul, where they could bring him, from Solo into Crimson, that kind of stuff, tie in Clone Wars, Rebel, all that stuff. I mean, they can concentrate on a certain point, but
could absolutely happen.
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe that was also a decision to cut him from the Kenobi series and then hype up the Vader point to it, right? And make it dire, make it more all that stuff instead of I guess.
So the rumor was that it was Filoni that figured out a way to get Vader back in, and he insisted on having the Inquisitors in there and figured out a story to help out. That was the whole rumor.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I can see that happening, because I can see ways to fit Vader in way better. I can see it being Filoni to take Maul out, because he's like, that doesn't fit. While, remember, I've talked about directors and writers not understanding the past of stuff, right? And you can see that in Mandalorian, where things don't quite jive sometimes, just a little bit off. Like, they must have missed something, or didn't know that person existed, or know that person was in the room with that person, And so when you get to this and you're talking Maul and doing a story, he's like, we've dealt with Maul in Rebels. What I've noticed lately online is there is a more than I've seen lately. I think it's because everybody keeps saying Maul already had his story finished, and everybody's like, "That's an animation; it doesn't count." It freaking counts.
Oh, it
especially whenever you've got the level of quality that Rebels was. I mean, yes, that most definitely counted.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? You know what sucks, guys, is I don't know if we've just been closed door to it or what. There is so much hate out there for Rebels or animated itself. And I can't believe that.
Correct. Yeah.
I can't believe that. I didn't know that was still going on. Okay. Do we clown on Resistance? Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was a totally different approach and different effect. But does it still count? Yes. It does.
It counts. Yeah.
Right. It still counts. But I didn't know that there was still all this about, well, it's animated. Just like Chris had said. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's beautiful. From Clone Wars to Rebels, like the story, like, for people now's your chance to go watch Rebels, because and there's so much info in there.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Rebels, every time I watch Rebels, I walk away going, I think this might be my favorite Star Wars thing in existence. It is, from beginning to end, it's such a fulfilling story about family. It furthers that whole idea of family in Star Wars, and you can choose your family. Yeah,
Some
you
of the
don't have to
storytelling is
be-
more dramatic than the movies.
Absolutely.
And you have
Absolutely.
Darth Vader and Darth Maul about 100 feet away from each other at one point.
I mean,
and they never
yeah.
see each other, but they know about it. Or Maul knows about Vader. And that's
Correct.
what's cool. If you remember that, Maul talks
Right.
about the new guy or the new Sith.
Right.
And that's freaking rad. There's so many
Yeah.
cool things there. And you talk about fan service. Rebels has so much fan service as far as bringing us stuff from the past between Kenner figure showing up in the show the whole time, bringing in all sorts of EU and concept art stuff in there, plus cameos from just about everybody, including Luke. The only one we were really missing was Han.
Yeah.
To be honest, because everybody else was in this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Papa Schmitty saying, I watched the whole series on DVD, straight cried a couple of times. I had no idea what was coming.
It's
Rebels
so great.
Next level.
Dude, I started watching it again there,
Brutal,
dude. When Kanan I love the scene where Kanan shows himself as the Jedi that first time, right?
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
saving the
I got
Wookiees. And all of a
goosebumps thinking
sudden,
about that.
and he comes out and he's,
Yeah, me too.
it's time. And I'm like, oh,
Love it.
forget it. I'm getting chills
Yeah.
right now thinking about the scene.
I know.
So many well-written and you talk about like cinematography and stuff. We're in animation, some cheesy-ass animation sometimes. But the way they make it work and the emotions in the characters and the voice acting, dude, get out of here with your
It's
Freddie
like
Prinze
Joey
Jr.
said, it was some of it was more than the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan Jarrus is epic. I mean, I'd
The,
follow
the
him.
trick,
And he's a
of-
super mega Star Wars fan. Super
dude.
mega,
Oh, yeah.
dude. Like
Yeah.
straight talks the Force, like understands it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
The trick with the problem with Star Wars fans, even for us to a point, and the masses, like even Dave Filoni, they have a challenge here with this what's live action, what in animation, and the continuity stuff, because they can bring us a movie that ties all these things in, and if people get lost, it'll be a negative thing. So I didn't understand one thing because I don't know who Kanan is, I don't know who Ezra is, and so there's a fine line that they have to kind of intertwine and be smart about it, right? Like they can definitely do it in live action, in the theatrical release for the masses, and for us it can just bring in more marination, if you will, like that it's like, oh my god, it means more. So it has to go twofold. So when you're introducing things in cartoon format, you and try to tie it in with live action like Mandalorian's doing, you got to do it the smart way. Yeah, well, like I said, that's why a lot of people maybe frown upon the animations, because at first it's a lot of binging, it's a lot of episodes. Like I'm going through Clone Wars, but I'm having a blast because that's what we do. I can't expect my neighbors to do that and then love Star Wars. They're just like, so
you got to give them the rundown. Like, man, these are the 12 episodes I need you to watch.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Or 8 arcs, maybe, and just watch these. That's what you have to do with people, because if they start watching and you get into a Padme Jar Jar, a Padme 3PO episode, for God's sakes, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Joey has a point.
I have a cousin that doesn't watch cartoons or read the books or anything like that, but he had asked me about Ahsoka when Ahsoka came out on Mandalorian. So I immediately referred him to Clone Wars when Order 66 kicks in.
Oh yeah.
And just that episode alone got him to the point where he was like, I gotta watch this whole thing, because that scene alone, the way they mixed in the movie sound, the audio and stuff, it was perfectly done, and it was so dramatic to the point where you get emotional. And you're like, it's a cartoon, but still,
I know.
the point is the storytelling is so dramatic.
Kicks you right in the nuts.
And that just happens to be the best, one of the best Ahsoka things ever, right? That landing, that poster on my wall, that's one of my favorite freaking scenes in Star Wars.
We're talking about Ahsoka, and she's got a show coming up, and her show kicks off right where Rebels left off. So there's going to be I think there's going to be a mad scramble for people. I hope there's going to be a mad scramble for people to watch Rebels, to get caught up, to see the trajectory, because they're not going to know who Ezra Bridger is. Right. They're not going to know. I mean, everybody kind of has a vague notion of.
They're going to get like the cliff notes of it, because there's not enough time in the live actions to go back, and they're going to get the clip like, oh, you were this, you were that, and it's not going to mean, like, it's not going to mean enough like it means to us. Like
unless they just straight up abandon some of the ideas that were put out there in Rebels. I mean, not show us where Thrawn and
No,
Ezra
I
have been. I don't think so
that's
either.
going to happen. Yeah.
Hmm.
They're
I don't
too
think
good.
so
They're
either.
Too good. They're too good.
Yeah.
And it's Filoni's baby, man. He's not going to F with that. But to your
I
point
agree.
about people kind of know what Thrawn, I was at a buddy's house last week, and he sat down. And the first thing he says to me, he's all, "Tell me why I should care about who Thrawn is. Who's Thrawn?" And I'm obviously knows that I dig Thrawn.
Yeah. But that,
and I had to break it down, and it's like, oh, there we go. Not everybody knows. So
not everybody knows, and that's the
I
trick.
think regardless of what's going on, if you don't like it or not, I think, and not to say it in this sense, but I think Filoni's like, F it. Like, you have to. Like Chris said, this is his baby. And then Scott said, how do you not know if you didn't watch it? I think you're going to have to, regardless of
you're
if
going to have
you like
to
it
go
or
forward
not.
with it. Yeah.
If you want to enjoy it, you have to invest a little bit of time in, consuming it.
Because you can still watch it and be like that. I mean, how many people were just introduced just through Mandalorian?
Right.
I'm saying to Star Wars. Right.
Yeah.
And they're cool with it.
Half the podcasters in Twitterverse, man, was introduced during the sequel trilogy in Mandoverse, man.
Well, perfect example is Mandalorian introduced to, again, the masses, the Darksaber, Bo-Katan, Mandalore, that whole culture within a few episodes. They didn't have to go back to clone. If they wanted to, it's great. You get more of the vastness. You get what Bo-Katan is.
Find out who Bo-Katan is and why she does what she does and what the Darksaber is about a little bit.
Right.
You got enough history. You got enough history in Mandalorian.
But
season 2. But
they also did it so smart where, again, the average Star Wars viewer can catch up just like that and moving forward. Like, okay, like for Grand Admiral Thrawn is like the perfect example on how they're going to handle it, because there's so much backstory to it. There's so much EU to it that Ahsoka said it in Mando season 2, which everybody went, "Who's that?" Like, there's a lot of people goes, "Yeah." But there's a lot of people go like, "Well, who?" And like, to the point where your friend, why should I care what she's after? And there is a way to do it, and it's going to be from like what Ernie says, like this point on, or Filoni's going to be like this point on. You're going to know through dialogue and some flashbacks here and there, but you're not going to get that epic character development that we got watching the cartoons. And I implore everybody to go at least watch the cartoons. And Disney Plus does an amazing job by going to the Star Wars section and catching you up, like the pivotal episodes to watch about Ahsoka. And so it's a handful of episodes, and you can catch up.
Essentials.
Yeah, the essentials, correct. And they're doing that. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I'm sure there'll be one with Ezra. I'm sure the one will be with Thrawn. I'm sure there's going to be, that kind of stuff, which is smart.
Yeah, you know what I see a lot of too right now. I'm going to talk about Thrawn for 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Please, a lot of these people that were introduced. I know, right? The people that were introduced to him lately in sequel trilogy and through the Mandoverse are all on he's a good guy kick.
Right.
Like really are going to be upset when they see him full on Empire if he comes back heir to the Empire type. Right? They don't understand that he's got levels and layers, and that we've seen him in Chiss world and growing up and doing things, but how ruthless he can be. And they show it in the books a little bit, but people seem to miss that when he grabs somebody or yells at the sergeant outside and says it needed to be done for a reason. Right. Or he loses his mind in Rebels on somebody who didn't appreciate the art. Do you remember him losing his mind in that episode?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Or like getting really angry. Well, Thrawn has it. It's not like he's not. He's going to be villainous.
Correct. It's to learn the weaknesses and stuff. Yeah.
When he protects his own people, he'll destroy the whole New Republic, everybody, if it means he gets what he wants to get to the save his people. So that's all I'm saying is people are going to lose their minds when he comes in and he's in an ISD again after having Ezra. And he's got Ezra on his side because Ezra realizes there's a worse threat, is my hope anyway. Right? So
it's possible.
I'm
still looking at it. I'm still looking at it like we're headed towards heir to the Empire, and that's what we're going to.
That's where I was going to go right now. Did you see Samuel Jackson?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Then he talked straight to Bryce Dallas Howard and said, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play."
I saw your comment too. Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. And I put on Bryce Dallas Howard's Twitter. I'm all, that's totally cool. If he's a clone and it's 2 U's, right? If it's Mace Windu. We'll do it. We're in. No more Sabayoth, man. This is how you do it. They've got it. They've got the actors wanting to play this role. You are in. Let me come in with you guys. Let's write this effing story. Let's go.
Yeah. Samuel Jackson's not the person you say no to. So
no, dude. Samuel Jackson wants in Star Wars. George Lucas puts him in Star Wars. You want a purple lightsaber? You get a purple lightsaber. You want to come
fans
back to
will
life?
make the backstory
come back. We'll work it out.
We'll work it out in our heads.
You know about that interview too. The great point was like that. He talked to George, right? Because he knew George that I want to go in. that made it happen.
Yeah.
So he hasn't approached anybody else, but he said, I know Bryce Dallas Howard did movies. That was my ticket in. So I told her. Like, that was,
but also he's got his ear to the ground, knowing who's in charge of this too. Like he's not just putting it out there in the ether, right? He's going straight to the director who's doing these, that can handle it. And
you know what's awesome about that too is he could just put it out there and it'd be already done. He's already done it. He puts out something like that so that we don't start the rumor that he's in it.
Yeah.
Because he's already been rumored years ago. That's when we started this whole thing about, if he comes back as a clone, I'm cool, but not back to life. Don't bring him back to life.
Like it's, I think there was there an official post about Bad Batch 2022, like coming sooner than we think it's coming? I think there was something
August.
like that.
We talked about it. I know that.
Yeah, August. Huh? Okay. Yeah, and I think that's going to speed that talk up. I think it's really going to speed it up. If they introduce, this would be perfect. If they introduce Mace Windu coming back in the Bad Batch as the clone, and then
could you imagine seeing a hand
3
and realizing it's Mace Windu's right hand?
Yeah.
Or
Chris, if for those that are listening, you want to give a real quick bio of who Sabayoth is and who Mace Windu could be.
In Heir to the Empire, when Thrawn was running the Empire and in charge of everything, he also used a clone Jedi that was cloned on Mount Tantus that we've already seen. That we've already seen at the very last scene of Bad Batch season 1, right? Which is when I lost my mind because I didn't notice that, and I remember the show we did that day.
Yeah.
Marco said, "Hey, do you notice what that was?" And immediately it hit me. I was like, "Oh, don't tell me that's the mountain."
Confirmed. Yeah.
So anyway, he was a old Clone Wars veteran Jedi. Okay, served in the Clone Wars with all the folks. This is before we had the prequel, so we didn't know what the Clone Wars was. This was 30 some odd years prior, right? It wasn't 19 or 24 years before. It was 30 some odd or longer. So he was an old clone. He thought he still had his memories. He didn't realize he was a clone. And it was Jarus. Jarus is his normal name. But in the book, it was consistently Jarus. Jourus. And later on, when they explain that he's a clone, right? When Thrawn explains it to Pelion that he's a clone, he says, "Oh no, notice the telltale mispronunciation of the name Jurus with the T." I'm like, "Oh,
right, yeah,
snap.
yeah."
Okay, so that's why Windu works so perfectly because I have a U. Because also in the Empire, Heir to the Empire, not only is there a Jarus Sabayoth, later on, sorry for the spoiler on a 30-year-old book, right? There's also a clone Luke with 2 U's. So now we've got Windu. Give me the Windu. And I am straight up the happiest Star Wars fan ever. And I will put that on everything that I will never let anybody not hear that I said that needs to happen. Every day for the next 5 years, I'm like, I knew that was going to happen. I said that should happen.
It seems like it really does seem like, read between the lines that like the planets are aligning for this kind of content coming in.
They're building up to an event series. That's what all of these series are doing. They're taking these characters from from Rebels, well, I guess, and Clone Wars, and inserting them into these key positions. And I like Chris is saying, and it seems like it's building up to some kind of an adaptation of the original Thrawn trilogy.
100%.
Which
things
also
are already
has to fit to the sequels.
Yes.
To make those cool as well, because we've had the hints of seeing the clones and Mando and like that. I mean, Thrawn could be the one who ends up running the Emperor's plan to make what we saw of the Emperor's. What was it? What did they call it? The Emperor's or
the final order?
Sith?
The final order. The Sith.
The final order. Was that the Sith order?
Yeah.
What was it called?
the final order, the Sith Eternal. But the whole thing was the final order. Yeah.
Because that was a whole. Remember, we sat there. And we're like, okay, so they've just been sitting here.
Yeah.
But I mean that could come to fruition through all this. That Thrawn was the one who ran that.
He helped him put it together. He was part of this plan. He's in the top echelon of the entire Empire by the time we get to the destruction of the second Death Star. Right?
Yeah, think about
he's up there. It was, Tarkin's gone at this point. There's not really anybody up there. He's gonna trust Thrawn to do stuff. He's gonna give him that because Thrawn's an outcast. Thrawn's a complete outcast in the Empire, right? Even when he does well, they hate him. Same in the Chiss Ascendancy. That's the thing with Thrawn. Nobody digs Thrawn really, except his close, tight-knit circle.
It's because he's the smartest man in the room at all times.
That's right. That's right. He doesn't even try to be. He just is.
Yeah, and being that
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, well, 100%. Being that the Mandalorian the Mandoverse is what we're coining it, you know, and stuff is and all shows tie intertwine within the Mandoverse. Going into because we got the hints of going into the sequels, right? We're gonna see where Ahsoka lies and bringing Thrawn into the masses and the live action where he's been and the plan moving forward. Mando 3, cool? We got some leaks too. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just thinking. Sorry, Sabayoth. The rest of this Sabayoth story is his big thing. He wanted the Jedi. He wanted Luke. He wanted Leia, and he wanted her unborn twins.
Correct. Yep. For himself to wield. Yes.
Yes. So guess who's around right now? Not just Ben, but Grogu.
Yeah.
Oh,
two
damn.
Jedi.
If you have Sabayoth going after Grogu and the Emperor going after Grogu,
Windu.
Windu
going after these guys. You're just switching characters around, right? You're just switching a little bit. You still have Luke. They've made a big deal about Luke being back, and the only reason it's only Luke, and he's been there 2 big times now, is because he has to play a part in that.
Yeah,
he will have to play a part because there's no way Windu does not sense the son of Skywalker out there.
Right.
No kidding.
Did everybody see the Mandalorian season 3 leaked photo? Like, there's a couple leaked photos, and again, grain of salt. Well, let's just talk about what Chris. That was funny, visually funny. Sorry for the audio.
I was making sure I muted right. I heard the dogs.
You did. You muted right.
I don't, Scott. I don't know if you could pull it up real quick and throw it into the bands, but the red helmets, please.
Let me hunt them down real quick.
Thank you very much. But I'll introduce that to the chat and everything, or the pit. There was a leaked image of red painted Mandalorian helmets that looked very, very Sithy and very suspiciously, Sith or Sith Eternal
Royal
at this point.
Mandos.
So, like, either we're going to Mandalore and there's gonna be Royal Mandos. Like I said, with this, maybe the Sith Eternal has actually taken over Mandalore at this point. Who knows? But a rumor, and this is a rumor, that the Praetorian Guards are going to make an appearance in season 3 of Mandalorian 2. And now I know those helmets aren't Praetorian Guards, but having them in it makes me it really makes me excited. And I was talking to Cliff about this yesterday too, about the events leading up to the sequels, and the point is it going to make the sequels better, or is the sequels going to deflate everything we've been working on? You know what I mean? Because the sequels are the sequels. They're not going to change them. But and I told him, I said, what's going to probably happen is the time leading up to it is going to be so epic, that maybe we just forget about, and it is what it is kind of stuff, and you just kind of take it. It's
just going to leave us crumbs to say this is what happens later, and it does happen later. It just gives a little bit more meat and sauce and everything to that, right?
Yeah.
And we get our own little time frame here, and I'm loving this little.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
To have, like I said, Praetorian Guards, I think the shocking thing, or not the shocking thing, there was a couple of comments made by flies on the walls, right? Other things saying, like, we're not ready for Mandalorian season 3 because it's going to be so different than what we're used to seeing in the first 2 seasons. Like, it's going to be different. And I'm thinking, well, here we go. The way to make it that different is to start the contingency plan, start the maybe the events going into Battle of Jakku. Did that take place yet? Yeah, it took place already.
Yeah.
So but Praetorian Guards, Snoke, maybe even Emperor, more meats and a Mando, and like it makes me excited because, like, you have this bounty hunt. There it is. There's the hat. There's the helmets, guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I have a feeling these are going to be like the Mandalorians. Remember, in Heir of the Empire, Thrawn and the Empire used Nogri, right?
Yeah,
right.
And we've already lost.
I talked about this. Yeah,
we've already lost Rook. But although Tim Zahn said that could just be a title, right? Rook, like in chess. Okay, I get it. But I do think that at some point, instead of the Nogri here, because that's introducing a whole nother race and stuff, and trying to CGI that and everything is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the Nogri being his guards and helping out, it's going to be the Mandalorians, the sect that is against Bo-Katan and everything. And there you go with his royal guard. They're just Mandalorian.
Makes sense.
I love
the
it.
Empire, the Imperial ones inside of Rebels and Clone Wars, right? Or the inside Rebels, or was it Clone? I forget now. Right, Clone Wars, Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, in Rebels. Damn, there's.
I know but
you know what I mean. They're straight ones.
The Imperial Mandos. Yeah,
they're straight stormtrooper at that point.
Yeah, Sabine's brother was caught up in the middle of all that, and
Man, that's where I was. I'm all, whose brother was? Am I talking Satine or Sabine? I'm all Sabine.
Like what are the chances that we'll start seeing the birth of the First Order?
Yeah.
100. I think we already did. I think we started seeing it with the Snoke clones and the Vats.
The Mount Tannis is the beginning right there.
Mount
We're gonna
Tannis?
start. What I want to start seeing them do is take the children.
I was
Mandalorian
just gonna bring this up.
Start of the First Order troopers and stuff like that, and
I was just gonna bring that up. Like in the Mandalorian, going forward, we should start.
Yeah.
We should start hearing about missing children, kidnappings, and stuff like that. Like something. Okay, and it goes with the X-wing pilot that's always in Tatooine. There's something going on around here that nobody knows about. And Ernie's
Carson Teva.
Yes. So it starts with his character.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
It goes with, and I'm thinking it's like maybe he knows something that he's seen or something. He's exploring that. The missing kids. Hux's dad, right? Hux's dad is involved.
Oh, dude, you know what? I like the idea that he's out there looking for people stealing kids. I love.
Yeah,
that
like
idea.
he's heard
It
about
kinda
this
fits,
and he's on
huh?
his own, right?
Oh, dude, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy chill. That's our new
Yeah.
theory. That Carson Teva's out there like CSI and shit.
Yeah, like
He's out there. He's
nobody
not just
believes me.
patrolling.
Yeah,
Correct.
like nobody believes me back in the New Republic, but I'm here investigating. That's why he's always like out
And that's what I
in the
keep
outer
saying,
rim,
that it's going to be that one small tiny dude who ties it together like that to open it up, the investigating type. Like I said,
he's the 5 story in Clone Wars about the chip.
and
He's
stuff
a
like
5-story.
this.
Yeah.
Stuff like this will bring a newfound love for the sequels.
It will definitely
100%, Joey.
bridge it all together, right?
The same way Clone
yes.
Wars
Yeah.
did for the prequels.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
That's what Cliff and I had the discussion. It's like, okay, it sounds great, but we still have the sequels as they are. Even some of the but we have to kind of like pick and choose at this point to just be entertained by it,
But
or
a lot of
the
scenes that
canon
we're
by it.
like about
Yeah,
are
it
gonna
was.
be so much more now because
Yeah,
now we
and that's
got
the hope.
Correct.
visual
That's right.
background
That's right,
of-
dude.
And that's
That's
okay. And then
Joey.
that's Finn. Well, that's why we started on Finn. Well, we could probably even see him
Oh.
being taken as a kid. He said
Right.
that.
Wouldn't that be
Remember, we see
insane?
his kid picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We were all here since children.
Correct. We want to start
so
hearing
we,
about
we
it.
could get taken to Finn, and that
Mhm.
ties you into why did we start with Finn? Why does he feel this way? And again,
Right.
why does he feel the Force or want to tell Rey that?
Mhm.
Because not only were they taking kids, but we were also taking Force sensitive people
Right.
at the time. So it could just tie it all in. I mean,
Yeah.
God, look, we still go back to it. Look what Rogue One has done to our old original Star Wars.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like, still, I love to throw on Rogue One and go right into Star Wars because
Yeah.
it just makes it so much more now. Like you said, it enhances it. Like Joey, what you're saying, it makes it more of a story now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that he walks in and he's choking. That was always our scared Vader. And as you got older, it was a little cheesy. Okay, whatever, but it's still Vader. Then you have Rogue One happen. It's like, dude, did you see what he just did?
Yeah.
And now
yeah.
he walks in
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think-
the look of that soldier on the original New Hope. The look of fear on his face is like,
Yes.
now you know why this guy
Yes.
is so scared.
exactly.
Yeah, it is
Right,
got
what
chased
just
down.
happened. And even more so if supposedly that rumor bringing it back to Kenobi, how we're going to get them fighting in here and everything. Maybe that's why their last one was just that, because they've
Mhm.
already spent everything, They know what it is, and Obi-Wan has learned the way to when we see him disappear.
Right.
And
right.
it wasn't a major fight like we think it is, because they've had it out this way.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
don't think
older.
I don't think they're going to meet face to face. I'm really stuck on the Rey Kylo force time thing. I think
Really?
they're going to force connect. They're going to
Yeah.
just talk through that. They're going to have shared visions and flashbacks. It's going to be such a tight connection. These
And
two
then
are gonna-
again,
yeah.
which makes the sequels of them doing that. That was
Yep.
our thing. What's
Mhm.
going on?
Right.
How is this? We've never seen. Okay.
and you watch Vader and
There you go.
Obi-Wan do it, then it's all cool.
Cor-
And then what's going to
Yeah.
happen
Correct.
is you saw how Luke shut himself off from the Force, right?
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's going to shut himself off from the Force, and that's then when he says that's a presence I haven't felt since, and he stops. He doesn't say
Right,
last time I
right,
fought
right.
him. I haven't
Yeah.
felt since 10 years ago.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
because Obi-Wan shut himself off from the Force, and that's how we get it. I cannot wait for that to happen too, and it
Okay.
makes me mad that it's not going to.
Yeah. Right. What are the
So,
chances? Oh, go ahead.
we're-
Go ahead.
We're also talking about stealing children and the First Order taking all these kids. and you look at the Mandalorian, and you look at Din Djarin and how he, brings in the foundlings and wants to protect the foundlings. I could absolutely see him wanting to join with Grogu in the search for all these missing children.
To that.
Missing foundlings.
That's
they
his
took all
trigger.
the foundlings.
Yeah.
There we are, dude. See, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
This better be how they do it in a room, man. We've done this.
This is a writer's room right here.
Yeah. 15 minutes we started this discussion, and it went boom. We got a whole series set. Just somebody write the dialogue for me, some crap at dialogue.
Yeah.
But we can get the storyboard ready.
Aggressively relaxing. He says the cycle of Star Wars movies come out with a bunch of weird nonsense, and then the next decade is spent explaining in other media.
That's
but it's worked.
Yeah, and
it's worked.
Welcome to the fandom.
It's what makes a prequel so great is the Clone Wars.
But it's funny because it's one big story, so you always get layers and layers. We started out with 3 movies, guys, really, right? And then you get Splinter of the Mind's Eye and things, and then when you hit the Empire, you realize, okay, now we can get a bigger story, and we're at this level now where, okay, how about this? Like, Star Wars is one big continuous story, whereas comic books have different things. Star Trek has different things. Star Wars is one. Yeah. Right. And that's why recasting sucks for Star Wars. Did you see that thing today about Kirk being recasted for whatever time?
No.
There's a new young Kirk on the show. Yeah. There's a new young Kirk. Right. And so the point was, somebody made a point. Okay, the year is going to be 2050. We're going to have 17 Kirks, 14 Pikes, and still Disney's going to be making robots looking like Mark Hamill. Well, damn straight. That's what we should do. I want all these characters to be the same forever. It's cool.
Right. Our continuity is more important than a lot of other IPs out there.
Yeah.
And that's what made Star Wars so special about it was always a progressive story moving forward. That's why, we argue.
And that's why it's important to keep up, at least, if not read everything, to keep up on what's going on in the rest of it. You can Wikipedia it if you have to, or listen to the Starlight Digest. We'll break it down as it goes. Whatever
we
you
read
need,
them, so you don't have to.
Yeah, we do the work so you can sit back and listen for an hour.
Exactly.
Cliff says, I wouldn't want too much stuff put in Obi-Wan Kenobi, though. It's only a few episodes, and if there's too much added in there, I worry none of it gets a payoff.
And that's hence why we're cool with Darth Maul, if that's true, being cut out of it and get us what we saw in the trailer.
We need to see a Maul and Kira. Give us our gangster one. Give us what Joey's always wanted. I know Boba was supposed to be a gangster type, but I mean, that was more Godfather. It was total Godfather. And like I said, I think Boba was important still to tie in all our shows to everything.
It will. It will be.
Right, correct. And now give
Boba
us
was a taste. It was a taste of what it is.
Correct. And so give us that Maul and Kira of the dirty nitty-gritty that we know people want, because they were saying that. Well, about Maul. I mean, about Boba. Well, it wasn't this, and it should have been this, and it should have. Okay, let's show that as Maul and Kira are taking over with their side that led up to everything else too.
We need it, because I tell you, the War of the Bounty Hunters is not living up to that. Because I'm reading War of the Bounty Hunters comic right now, and Kira is not living up to the hype that they kind of set up in the Solo movie. So,
drag.
Yeah.
Hey, but I think that's all going to come back. I think they're going to use it in Lando, because okay,
that's what
right
Cliff
before
just said,
right before the Kenobi trailer dropped. Okay, they did the Twitter page for it. Then they made an Andor page right after that, and then they made a Lando page right after that. Lando's coming, and they haven't talked about it at all.
Right.
It's in the same exact way the Kenobi Twitter page is, where it's new. You can't follow it yet. If you just hit follow it, you're in there.
They're preparing.
Yes.
Always
and
preparing.
Always preparing.
Sorry.
Prepare to go backwards. Preparing to go backwards. Going backwards, sir. Lando. All right. So Lando, because Lando will get himself in some trouble, more so I think than Han.
Yeah.
Right. Han gets himself in trouble. But I think Lando will get in deep with Crimson Dawn somehow. Right. He already knew.
Well, Lando and Kira have history.
Yeah. Exactly.
They know the reputations, and it was in Solo. It makes perfect sense, and
he knows Crimson Dawn. He's like, I'm square with Crimson.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Not anymore, Chief.
Yeah.
And I think bringing him into it and going that route, he has to ask Han for help, and he's the sidekick in that one.
Right.
All sorts of cool things can happen.
Yeah.
And then you get Maul back, then you get Crimson Dawn, then you link it to whatever. And like I said, Star Wars is not linear, man. It's like we're watching all this stuff 4 years after, then 30 years after. Go back 19 years before. Go up 10 years.
And it's so cool. Funny how we talk about it, how we consume it as it's happening now. You know what I mean? Like we're getting something that's happened 30 years ago. We know the future outcomes of a lot of stuff, but we're still engulfed in it so much that yeah, it's there's a lot of gap, and that's what.
Even when it's bad, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, and when the sequels were announced back in the day in 2015, when in the sequels and the time we knew what we were going to get, like 33 years, like a true time jump. Between I kind of got where it was twofold, right? I was like, that's a big time jump, but it's also exciting because what happened in those 33 years or 35 years or whatever it is, and we talked about this on the show a lot. Was like, it's going to be so exciting to explore those in between. And it was kind of smart in that way to open up for Disney live shows and comic books and books to have this whole new generation of Star Wars in that time frame, right? The big argument is there was source material that they want to do their own source material, which is fine. But I think maybe they're learning to pull more from it. That's why we're getting Heir of the Empire, a lot of stuff, and it's in their best interest to pull from that stuff.
All brand new does not work with Star Wars. You have to have, like we talked about with the High Republic, you have to have an anchor.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like Yoda. It may not have worked much, but I just don't know if it's. I'm not caught up, so I'm
right.
Chance. You have to have an anchor, and that's why you do it. Each one of these shows is an anchor to something else. Nothing is exactly brand new. When they do brand new exactly, it does not work with the entire fandom. When you do it where it's new stuff but yet familiar, like the Mandalorian, right? It felt familiar even though it was new. You recolor some things, you put characters in the background, you're good to go, man.
Yeah, because nobody could say they got the Mandalorian character wrong. It's like, no, there's no source material.
But he looks like stuff I know. They talk about things I know. They're not calling it First Order. They're calling it the Empire. They know the New Republic. They're not, it's not the Resistance and all that. Which we're talking things we already know, and it hasn't. They just transitioned without a transition, right? This will give us that transition.
Yeah. Good comment here. Aggressively relaxing. Again, people don't give Star Wars enough credit for telling a multi-era story across the games, movies, theme parks, shows, comics. It's crazy how tight it is. High Republic characters talk you to Luke now. I haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know. I know that's interesting though.
Yep.
But
Holocrons.
100%.
Yeah, Holocron.
Yeah, 100%. And when Disney announced that they're going to do this whole thing and they're making all the stuff that we had a Legends category, and we're going to kind of build up a whole world building stuff like they did with Marvel. It's exciting because, like I said, there's a percentage of the older stuff that just doesn't work as well as people think it did, and there's a lot of there's a lot of continuity issues too. But
and a lot of nostalgia on us to not let some things go and to overlook some things. And I get that. I think we all get that.
Yeah, and it's exciting, but it's also exciting when any piece of content comes out to consume it, whether it be a video game or a commercial or something. Sometimes it's just fun to put it into it, in its place. And because otherwise we go to the movie, Batman's a perfect example. We saw the Batman. Hey, that was awesome. We talked about it. We geeked out, but we're not living it. We're not consuming it. We'll go see the part 2 when it comes out. But Star Wars is different. Star Wars is like what we just. That's why we're so passionate about it. Like what we saw on the screen. Now it happened, and we can't take that away from things. The sequels, the prequel, everything. It happened. Now, just like you said earlier, we take the next few decades and we get other content to make it better, enhance it, talk about it, dissect it. And add on to this.
Fix it and make it better. In 20 years, we're going to think it's all the best thing ever. We look back on it fondly of all this time we all spent complaining about it, but it ended up being great.
Yeah, I know people who are. I know people.
It's funny you mentioned about Batman. I'm sorry, you mentioned about Batman because we did love Batman, right? Yeah. And I don't talk about it at all. I completely forgot. Luke called me the other day. My son Luke, not Skywalker, right? And he and he's like, "Hey, you saw Batman, didn't you? How was it?" I'm like, "Oh shit." I tell him all the time about Star Wars. When I watch Mandalorian, Boba Fett, I'm talking to him about it. He's like, how was Boba Fett? I mean, how was Batman? I forgot it was rad. And I told him it was rad. You should go see it. But I didn't go right out of it. I usually do.
It's a typical moviegoer response. Like, hey, that was fun. We had fun. We met up. We watched it. That was awesome because we love going to the movies anyway. And that was just fun. And
hey, Obi-Wan's coming.
Yeah. Well, we walked out of there talking about Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, did you guys see this? You know what I mean? It's which is it's fascinating. And there are people, and I have come across people who are like that with Star Wars too. They're just like, oh, it's cool, but they don't consume their lives with it. And And that's where, like I said, there's a lot more of those people out there that are moviegoers and they love to see a Star Wars movie and they come home and they're like, that was cool. That's why if you go too far in this convoluted characters and stuff without giving that the marination they deserve, right? It's going to withdraw them and not. I'm too far gone in the story. I don't know what's going on. I'm not even going to watch it. Yeah. That's why I was mentioning that. There's an area there that Dave Filoni and Favreau and hey guys, Kathleen Kennedy too. They all have to figure it out. They all have to figure out where and how, why. All those questions need to be answered to serve our needs, as fans, as mega fans, and do podcasts and dissect everything, and then the average moviegoer who's going to view it and go, oh yeah, throw on that dude. Yeah, I know. I got all the things I needed to know within this movie or this series, whatever. And there's books and stuff. That's cool, but it's not. Do I need to? It'd help. It would be cool, but I don't need to.
Right.
That's the fine line, right? So.
Hey, can you update or pop up aggressively relaxing one more time? The last one.
Okay.
You're getting a lot of airtime here aggressively. Well
yeah,
done.
Right.
All right. So I agree here. I think we've talked about it before, right? Legends is brilliant. And calling it Legends is brilliant. And then what they've done in the books, a lot of times you can hear it. Like Claudia Gray did it in her book. A couple other folks did it, and we've heard it in other places. There's always a bit of truth in Legends.
Right.
Right. They use that quote a lot, meaning that they're just grabbing from Legends because those are stories that we don't know that they count. Right. It's like Paul Bunyan out there. Okay. Like the Tales of Luke Skywalker. It's Paul Bunyan story and this legend. That's what Legends books are. There are pieces they can grab from it and bring it in now because those are the true parts.
Correct.
And whatever comes in is now, that wasn't legend, that was real. Everything you read in Legends, that was the story told, playing telephone for the 10th time.
That's an interesting take on it, Chris. I honestly never thought of it that way, where you have those like the Luke Skywalker book that came out, the canon book about Luke the legend, right? The guy who's sitting and Luke's like
9 foot tall and bringing down Star Destroyers and
Luke's like, I didn't do that, but hey, if you were gonna think I did it, then there's the that's the weight of the world on the galaxy on your shoulders. Exactly.
When everybody thinks you're 9 foot tall and can do anything in the world. That's the thing. And that's when you have to think you can do it. And that's when you start training Jedi when you shouldn't. That's when you take on your nephew when you know you shouldn't. That's when you do all these things. And you do all these things because you think you should. And the galaxy is counting on you. Yeah. And then you blow it. And then you know what you do? You shut yourself up from the Force and you go high because you have effed everything up.
Yeah.
That's why Luke and The Last Jedi makes sense.
I would love to.
Your first student didn't even want to stay with you.
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
You fail before you start, man.
I would love
You're right.
someone to come up to Chewbacca and go, I thought a moon got you. I thought you got a moon dropped on you. You're alive?
Yeah. Oh, no, that was a legend.
That was a legend. That was allegedly a moon.
You're still here, right? Exactly. You're still alive.
I like that aspect of how Legends, and then and then what we're getting is the truth, right? Like
somebody walks up and says, "Wait a minute, Luke Skywalker? You mean that guy who Jedi trained in a circus on Tatooine?"
Yeah, exactly. I
on
never
a
did
wire.
that.
Come on.
Hey, Shadows is brilliant. Okay, all right,
Sure.
We still might get a dash render.
We're gonna Shizor soon. I mean, I feel it. There has to. Okay,
when will then be now?
Now, prepare to bring Shizor. When to bring Shizor? Preparing.
It's funny because I was listening to the Darth Plagueis book just these last couple of weeks, and it is a brilliant book. But you could tell the narrator wasn't a Star Wars fan because it was Prince Xizor.
Right.
And instead of oh God, what's his name that ordered the clones? Jesus, I'm Sifo Dyas. Instead of Sifo Dyas, it was Sifo Dyas, and he mispronounced everything, and it was driving me crazy.
Nobody re-listens to this stuff.
Yeah, if you ever hear the Air Empire when it's not Mark Thompson doing it, sorry, I almost first named again, right? If it's not Mark doing it, if it's the old school one, it's Coruscant. Because they introduced Coruscant in that book. It was this is pre-prequels. That's the first time we heard Coruscant.
That's right.
So they mispronounced that. They mispronounced everything in that book. It's horrible. But you're like, that's fun. You laugh at yourself because you're like, whatever.
Tent of Eve.
Tent of Eve.
I know. Another what
Prince Palpatine.
Hey man,
Emperor Palpatine.
I'm dyslexic. Okay, I add letters where they're not supposed to be. Ernie mentioned something, and my immediate response was like, because it's like, does anybody like proofread this or stuff? And it kind of brought me back to the whole Inquisitor thing that's going on right now. It's like, did anybody like, did anybody look at this before he went on set? They just shot this dude, and you know what I mean? Like, Dave Filoni approved that? I mean,
I don't think it's done. I don't think
I'm telling you, we saw pre-CGI stuff.
I'm hoping.
I just want the eyes fixed, man. That's all. I can take
That's the thing, though. You would think they would be like, should we really show this?
I mean, nobody's saying it looks good. Nobody has a.
People are saying let it go. A lot of people are saying just let
I'll
it go.
accept it.
I'm that way too. Yeah, I'm that way. Just gotta let it go. Just fix the eyes, and I'm straight. You know, that's it. I'm straight. If you don't, I'll be fine. But
and that's what my comment was when we started the show was like, how come they're just? Why does there always have to be something? Like there's always. And it's early. This is way early for Kenobi, and then they print, and it's like, huh? What is that? They're like, oh my god, here we go.
You know
again.
they're already going to be looking for the major mistake in there. We had Gene's guy, then we had behind the set. And now, what are they going to be looking for in Kenobi?
If the five of us were in charge of putting that trailer together, right, or putting the show together, we're like, you know what? Let's just have with everybody.
We're delaying this.
Throw in the Grand Inquisitor, but don't fix his eyes and squish his head. You know, I think we would do that. I'm hoping there are cool people at Star Wars right now. They're like, let's just have with everybody.
Yeah,
and come out and he looks straight up perfect. And you're like, oh
yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. TJ 8311. See, dyslexic. Still remember the day
you should have said 1138. JT 1138 says, still remember the day I bought Heir to the Empire back in 91. I can't express how happy it makes me to see them bring parts into canon now.
Oh man, brother, I love it. I love it. And I remember getting it in a grocery store at the checkout line. It was paperback when I saw it for the first time. I was a kid, you know. What are you gonna do?
When I first saw it was at Walden Bookstore.
Oh man, I was like, "Can I get this? I want to read it." Yeah, and I went home and read that thing. Man, I'm in junior high, you know, or maybe freshman year right there. Yeah. But who reads a book in freshman year by choice?
Did you brown bag it when you walked out?
Yeah. But I think I did tell you guys. That was my probably only legit book report I've ever done.
Oh, really?
Honest to God, straight.
My wife told me the stories. My wife told me the stories of your book report. So yes.
And you still got pissed because you got a C because they didn't understand it.
Oh no, he got an A.
Did you? Because you had to do you had to do 5 pictures at the end, and I only drew 4, and I put a blank piece of paper because it was a cloaked ship.
Brilliant.
Do you still have that? Is it on your wall right now?
Yeah, it is. I'll sign it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was working at Music Plus, and I went over to the mall to Walden Books, and I found it.
Walden Books,
I took it with me. I took it with me to Music Plus in Hesperia, and you know, I'm reading
Walden Books. And
I know, right?
Like Music Plus. I know. I'm reading it in the break room, and they're looking at me like, "You nerd," and I'm like, "Just leave me alone."
It even sucks right now because everybody's like Googling those names right now, and they're just like, doesn't even come up in Google. What is?
Yeah.
That's when
we get Blockbuster. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness! All right, guys.
And I.
TGMY, I missed that store.
Yeah, it was good.
That's where I got all my best mass figures from.
Yeah,
yes.
I did.
All right,
that
so
was it.
We're not wrapping up, are we?
They had the 2 packs at TGNY.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people like, those are the most ones, dude. And the 2-pack, I had so many because I was the freaking cheapest. So growing up poor, it was always like, I knew I can get a 2-pack of mass figures.
It was the only store we had in Hesperia whenever I was young. So yeah.
That in Kmart.
No, it was pre-Kmart, man.
It was
Kmart open.
Well, the Sears on 7th Street was over there too.
Oh yeah. Do you remember the JCPenney's on 7th Street? The one that was
remember
just like
the toy store right next to the Sears.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
I think this is all before.
I just remember Sears because I had to buy my Husky corduroys there.
So. This is all before I moved up here. I don't know.
Husky.
Husky. Where you had your own section.
Liquid Mall for me.
See?
Yeah.
Desert rat through and through here, man.
And the damn Husky section. No, go over here, mijo. You're special. Husky, look there.
See, they did it just for you.
Husky.
All right, guys, let's get out of here.
Swap-Me was for the shoes.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Keep talking.
I know. We'll
Marco's no fun.
The after show talk always continues, right? And we still go over to our Facebook Central, and we continue to talk, and we'll have more to talk about next week.
maybe we should continue to talk, record it, and put it as a Patreon special.
Oh, so if you want to donate, and maybe they will continue to talk over there. So
we'll talk about our swap meet toys or something.
Where you got Luke Skywalker, Raphael, Batman, and somebody else all together in one pack. And it was called Superheroes.
And each figure is painted one color. Maybe a different belt color.
Real fast, I do remember going to the Santa Ana swap meet and finding Space Wars, and it was Dark Vader. I remember I should have bought him back then. I remember those vividly. Yeah, Dark Vader.
People still say Dark Vader and lightsabers.
I know. And he was green and white. Chewbacca, he was like the top part was green and the bottom part was white.
Yeah, I remember that pack, Space Wars.
3PO was like orange, and it was spelled 3PO.
Right.
Where we had C3PO, it was spelled 3PO. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hilarious. I love it. All right, guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you. The pit, sorry. Everybody, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, favorite, do all that kind of stuff. I'm going to hand it to Ernie to kick us out of here.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you want this, like we said, to continue the talk, then go over to our Facebook Sarlacc Digest Central page, and you can check us out there. Chris has been very heavy on Twitter. We have Instagram as well, and TikTok with 1 minute short videos, but you can also find him here on YouTube. We do come on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. So go tell your friends if it's your first time joining. Thank you. We saw some new names tonight. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Please hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss when we're on. We do have a Patreon. We greatly appreciate that. Don't forget, you can find us all at our usual social medias. We got Darth Moocher, The Artist Scott Solo, Bootleg Joe. Chris goes under Darth Dad on there, and I'm the Fallen Fett. We have other things on the side as well, where Marco does figure stands. Tashi Station Emporium. Very, very well done. If you need them for all your setups like we have, they definitely help. Or even with action scenes and everything. And we got a lot more to come from there as well. Sets, props, everything. So
a lot of stuff coming.
That's coming up. So toy photography from Bootleg Joe on his page. You have art from the artist Scott Solo, all that. Do we have another giveaway going on?
Not yet.
With the next poster. Not yet, but we will. Okay.
We will.
Got it. And Chris is correcting everybody on Twitter, but he's been doing very good lately, so I don't have to go in there and say Chris off.
I type a lot of tweets and then I back out and it says, do you want to delete this or save this? And I hit delete. And I am very good about doing that at least 10 times a day. The ones you see
it's like your therapy, you get it out.
Yep, I thought it out. And the ones you see are the ones I was like, okay, this is doable.
That's Chris's count to 10 before sending. Yes.
100%, dude. Once in a while, I'll send something to Marco. I'm like, hey, man, is this straight? Kind of.
Yeah, you did.
Am I all right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, okay, outweighing the pros and cons. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do it. It's fine. We'll handle the backlash.
Right. I usually trust myself, but I'm like, this is kind of edgy. Should I?
And if you want some toy,
is this going to kill us in 10 years?
Now you better make it 20, though.
Yeah.
It's going to stay there forever. So let's say 20. That's what we're shooting for. And if you want some toy news of what's going on out there in the toy world, join myself along with the Toy Migos every Thursday night at 8:15 p.m. with They're Not Dolls. And for some new pop culture talk, movie talk, geek stuff, Star Wars stuff, and just all around fandom stuff, new podcast, Boba Squadron, drops on Mondays with Kevin Toying Around, Yoko McCann, Paul Lee, and myself. So that's Captain Carson Teva himself. You can check that out.
The one who's going to foil everything, foil the First Order plot.
I'm telling you, has to tie it all together. Get those kids. I like how we said that today, finding the kids and knowing something that's up. Yeah. That makes it even more, more so.
Well, he's never coming on the show because we figured it all out.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going on there. They're going to get me.
No. I like my job.
If they're not going that direction, maybe they should. So
they need to hire us.
Yeah.
We said that. Just the powwow, right, Chris? We need the powwow.
We have an outline. We have an outline. Just let us in the room. That's all.
You know what Disney does with outlines. We all know where that goes. But anyway,
look, Phoenix Richardson there. He's right on time.
Hey, Phoenix.
Hey, Phoenix.
Bye, Phoenix.
You can catch the replay in the morning.
And with that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.
It's over?